Hey guys, this is Gamers World Channel, and this is my first comparison/review video. And today we will be answering the question everybody's been asking: is the iPhone 5 really any better or different than the iPhone 4S? So let's get started. So first of all, we're going to start off with the outside, the exterior of the devices. And as you can see, we've got an iPhone 5 on the left and an iPhone 4S on the right. And the first thing you'll notice is that, for one, the iPhone 5 is slightly taller and longer than the 4S. But you'll also notice that on each end, let me adjust this, on each end there's less space between the end and the screen on both sides compared to the 4S, where there's lots of space on each end. So they decreased the amount of unused space and also extended the actual size of the device, making a larger screen. Next thing is, we'll go over some numbers here. The iPhone 5 is 4.87 inches long this way, while the 4S is 4.5 inches. The iPhone 5 is 2.31 inches this way, and the 4S is also 2.31 inches this way. Now, the depth on the iPhone 5 is 0.3 inches, while the 4S is 0.37 inches. Yes, you heard me right. The new iPhone is actually thinner. Now, also, the iPhone 5 weighs 3.95 ounces, while the iPhone 4S weighs 4.9 ounces. That is a whole ounce taken off, while making the device longer and packing more battery life and better hardware inside. So that's pretty sweet. Now, as far as looks go, we're gonna go. First, you'll notice that up here at the top we've got the speaker, or the heads when you're talking, and then on the 4S you'll see that the front-facing camera is on the left side, and then on the 5 it's on top of it in the center. So I've noticed that whenever I was on FaceTime, I kind of have to arrange my phone more to the right to center myself, while using on the iPhone 5 I've been able to just center myself, and it makes it a lot easier. Small but convenient. On the sides you'll see that with the black iPhone, they've actually changed the color of the band going around the side so it actually fits with the color of the device, instead of having a completely different color. But other than that, the buttons on the side are the same. Now, if we go on top here, you'll notice one difference here. The power button is the same, but you'll notice that there is no headphone jack on the top of the iPhone 5. They've actually switched that to the bottom here. Now, the bottom, of course, is much different by the looks. You'll notice that the connectors are completely different. One is the Lightning connector on the new iPhone 5, and the one on the 4S, and every single other Apple device up until now is a 30-pin adapter. So Apple has done away with that, made a smaller connector that can actually plug in both ways instead of having only one way to plug it in, and it's also smaller and more convenient to carry around. And the headphone jack is also on the bottom. I forgot to mention that. And here on the side you'll notice that the iPhone 5 is now packing a nano SIM card, and the 4S before that was using a micro SIM card. Now, the display, I'm not going to turn it on quite yet, but you'll notice that, like I already said, the screen is larger. So the display on the iPhone 5 is a 4-inch diagonal, while the iPhone 4S is a 3.5 diagonal. So some people say that's bigger, some people say it's not much bigger, but from personal use, it makes a great difference. So, alright, moving on to the next category. The back is completely, well, not completely, but much different than the older iPhones. So you'll notice that on the iPhone 4S, like you've probably heard many times before, and you probably can see this glare, is because the entire back is made of complete glass. And you've probably seen many, many videos or pictures of shattered iPhone backs because it's all glass and it's very fragile. If I were to drop this on concrete, I wouldn't bet any money that it wouldn't shatter. But on the new iPhone 5, you've got an aluminum alloy that is, in my opinion, more attractive, and it's also much more resistant. There have been many drop tests you've probably seen on YouTube, and it's beaten every single device so far that I've seen in all the tests. But there's still two parts of the device that have the glass, just like on the back of the 4S, but they're only on the top and bottom. Now another thing is the camera. You'll notice that the camera on the 4S appears to be slightly larger, and that right next to it there's an LED. But on the iPhone 5 there's a little bit of a smaller camera, and to the right of it an LED, and in the middle there's this little thing. That's the microphone that Apple has added. So whenever you're taking a video, you'll get better sound because there's a microphone on the back side that will get that audio. And another minor difference is, I don't know if you can tell the colors, but there's a sapphire lens on the iPhone 5, which is supposed to make pictures more crisp and clear, and it's supposed to be more resistant to scratch. So yeah. Alright, now to get to the actual devices and the software it's running. So let's go ahead and power them on for our first test and see which one boots up faster. Let's see how this works. Pressing at the same time. Looks like the iPhone 4S is off to an early start. Alright, let's see which one boots up the fastest. Get the iPhone 5 on the left and the 4S on the right. Oh, there's the iPhone 5 pulling ahead even after the late start. Still waiting for that 4S. There it is. Alright. So, let's go ahead and power these on, or unlock them. Alright. So it looks like the 4S is still searching for a signal, even though I don't have a SIM in it, because I took it out to put it in the iPhone 5. So there it goes, I finally found it. Alright, so one thing I want to point out now that we've got them both on is the screen size. And you'll notice that instead of this sort of fat looking screen, you've got a much sleeker long screen. And it happens to fit my hand fairly well. It doesn't, that's about the extent of my thumb. So if a device were any longer, I wouldn't be able to pull that notification bar down. So it fits me fairly well, and I'm pleased with the size Apple chose. So now what we're going to do is talk about the display. So the iPhone 5 has, again, a 4-inch diagonal with the Retina display, which basically means your eye, at the average distance that Apple calculated that people hold their device away from their eyes, that you will not physically be able to discern any pixels on the screen. So in theory, it's as good as it gets, unless you of course hold it closer. But it looks very sharp, and it just like it did on the 4S and the 4. So the resolution on this device is 1136 long ways by 640, and the pixels per inch is still 326, which is the Retina qualification. And on the 4S, you've got a 3.5-inch display, which is 960 long ways by 640. And again, it is the same length, just as the same width of the phones are the same. The screen width is also the same, so they have the same pixel width along the side here. So it's an interesting choice by Apple to not make it wider. So, in the new iPhone 5, Apple has said there's a 44% better color saturation. And I can vouch for that. And one example I like to show to people, it looks like it's fairly difficult to see through the camera, but the yellow in the Photos app icon just stands out to be much more yellow, much more vibrant, and it's just a lot more attractive to me. It really makes a difference for me. Alright, so now moving past this display, the iPhone 4S now has LTE capability. Woohoo, yes, everybody's been waiting for it. It's been long awaited for many, many devices. So the 5 can support Edge, 3D or 3G, HSPA+, LTE, a new and improved Wi-Fi, which is supposedly faster, but I haven't noticed any difference. And it also has Bluetooth 4.0. Everything is the same for the 4S, except there is no LTE, which is a huge game changer for me, because after getting used to that LTE, it's going to be hard to ever go back to anything less.